What's your routine like before a session, and how do you motivate yourself?
My routine before a session, typically I have school. As you guys know, I go to school for physical therapy, so I typically have school like all day, starting from like 8 a.m. or so. And then, after that, I just come home, have a pre-session meal. If I come home around like 5 or 6, I'll typically try to eat. Me personally, I like to eat like 3 hours before a session, 2.5 to 3 hours. And I'll also watch footage if I have time. I'll watch footage of myself from the last session or study tricks that I want to work on.
How did you know you were ready to take on tricking every day? Can anyone trick every day? If not, what is it contingent upon?
I felt that I was ready to trick every day because I just knew that I was able to listen to my body. I wasn't very attached to tricking for X amount of days, so I knew that if I felt that I couldn't safely continue, that I would just stop. And I've tricked, before this challenge, I'd only tricked, I think the max I've tricked is like 5 or 6 days in a row before this challenge, and that wasn't a frequent thing at all. It was just like maybe this one summer where I was just tricking a lot, but for the most part, I'll, maybe 3 days in a row max and then take a day off. That was my normal schedule. So with this, I just wanted to push myself and see how far I could go. I think that people can trick every day, and like I said, all the things I've preached on the posts leading up to this, like the tips I've posted about listening to your body, warming up, really conditioning, and all these things that we kind of try to preach are really important to doing this successfully and safely. Can anyone trick every day? Short answer, I believe, is yes, but it's depending on their conditioning level, and how long they've been tricking and their experience with tricking. Because honestly, it's not just about how conditioned you are. It's also about your ability to do different types of tricks, because that way you really focus on different muscle groups kind of thing. So it's kind of like just working out in general, where people work different muscle groups, you can work different tricks, and that helps you kind of rest one leg versus the other, one side of your body versus the other. Like if I'm feeling tired, I could do groundwork, things like that.
How does one deal with the soreness at first? Did you feel that you got stronger with each day of tricking?
The soreness, again, I'm going to be repeating myself a lot. With the soreness, it's listening to your body. You got to know if it's a pain or if it's soreness. If it's soreness, if it's just muscular soreness, you can usually warm up and it will go away. If it's a pain, it's something that with a specific movement, it's going to hurt you. And that's not the kind of thing you really want to be doing this on. You really want to stay safe. So the soreness, I kind of just pushed through it. My warm-up was extremely effective in getting rid of soreness before a session. I could be pretty sore in any given session, and I'll do my warm-up and I'll barely feel anything. And when I really get into the session and I start having fun and sinking my teeth into like a combo that I want to land, I completely forget about it. I definitely felt that I got stronger with each day because I was getting less sore and I was able to do more. I was also learning about the tricks, like by drilling every day, you're obviously going to get better at the tricks and more efficient. So not only was I getting stronger, I was getting better at the tricks, which made them easier.
Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it to somebody who is very in tune with their body and can really just focus on the goal. The goal isn't, I want to trick X amount of days. Like when I went into this, I did not have a set number goal, and I was ready to drop it at any time. So somebody who can do that and who can really consider, is this worth it? Like at every pass, you have to ask yourself every pass, should I be doing this? Am I ready for it? And these are all questions that I ask, and it's not in a limiting way. It's more of like just generally asking, like, should I be doing this or not? And if you can do that and you could really stay focused on the prize, then I think that you can trick every day.
How would you base the duration for each session?
The duration, for me, I always tricked over at least an hour of tricks training during the 30 days that I was doing the challenge. I think a good rule I just kind of naturally did it, but in retrospect, I think a good way to think about it is like leave 20% in the tank for the next day. If you plan on doing this day after day, you don't want to completely exhaust yourself at the end of the session. Not to say that I don't push hard, because I push hard each session, but I leave a little bit. I'm not completely exhausted. I'm not like limping to my car, you know? I used to have sessions like where, you know, if I wasn't going to train for another 4 or 5 days or something like that because of gyms or whatever, I would train really hard till I couldn't anymore. This is not what I'm doing here. I'm training until my tricks start to decline.
How have your energy levels differed throughout the challenge?
They've differed a lot. I mean, some days randomly I'll just be completely dead and I'm like wondering if I could complete the session or even go to the session or if I should stop. And other days I just feel this crazy power that I don't know where it's coming from because the day before was terrible. So, I mean, it's really just been a big reason I did this is the mental benefits, just knowing that I can go, because there's the physical side and there's the mental side. I know physically that most people can go most days. You know what I mean? So at a gathering, you know, you could be like, oh, I'm really sore. And this is actually a big reason why I did it as well, because I would be at gatherings and I would train maybe one day and then the next day I'm like, oh, I'm going to go lighter because I feel sore from yesterday and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, what I've learned from this challenge is that generally that doesn't matter. If it's not a pain, if it's just soreness, and it goes away with a really good warm-up and you're stretching after and you're eating right and hydrating, you should be good.
That cat.
I know, the cat.
Ready?
Yeah.
How do you push past being tired or having low energy?
I kind of addressed this in my other questions. I push past being tired by just warming up. I could be dead tired, and my only job, I said this in one of the posts, well, my only job is to show up. That's the only thing I put on myself. If I show up, then I've done my job for the day. So I'll just show up and start doing my warm-up, and then usually towards the end of the warm-up, I'm already feeling like I can go. And if I don't feel like I can go, I'll start doing like groundwork and easy stuff and just ease my way into it. And I don't put every session on a pedestal. That's another benefit of this challenge that I've noticed. Beforehand, if I had a session like 3 or 4 times a week, for example, I would be like, oh, this session, I really have to hit this, this, and this. But when I was tricking every day, it was just like, I'm going to trick, I'm going to session, I'm going to enjoy my sport. And it was great to have it a part of my everyday life. And it kind of switched the focus to just being in the moment and kind of just training that day rather than focusing on hitting this goal.
Have you used any supplements to help you trick every day?
No. I've used pre-workout in the past, and for this challenge I really wanted to focus, like I said, on the mental benefits, so I decided not to use any supplements, any pre-workout, coffee, any stimulants or anything like that. And now, after having done it for 30 days and having had really good sessions, I don't think I will be using supplements anymore. I do think that they have a place in tricking, but I don't think that, me personally, that I need them anymore. That's another thing I've gained from this challenge. Just the warm-up is enough. I mean, your body gives you a lot of energy through chemicals, and it's amazing.
What types of food did you eat and how often?
If you want to categorize my diet, I guess I'm a pescatarian, so that means I eat fish. I eat fish, eggs, things of that nature. I eat a lot of rice, brown rice, white rice. I eat a lot of beans. I try to stay away from so much wheat. That's just personal. It kind of bothers my stomach, but I don't exclude it from my diet. I just kind of try to minimize it. In the mornings, I typically eat, sorry, I just got distracted by a bird. In the mornings, I eat oatmeal. Since I have kind of limited time with my schedule, the night before I'll do something called overnight oats, so I kind of prepare them beforehand, and I'll put protein powder maybe, or some peanut butter, some nuts, and then a banana, and I'll have that in the morning. In the afternoon, I'll typically have like a rice and fish kind of meal. And then I'll have my egg and waffle pre-workout, pre-session meal that I was talking about. And then after, I'll maybe have some avocado, beans, rice, things of that nature. It's pretty much my diet in a nutshell.
What are your conditioning routines outside tricking? And does that change with tricking every day?
My conditioning routines, they really change a lot depending on what I'm doing with my tricking. So during this challenge, I kind of showed you guys what I did. My warm-up was also my conditioning routine. I threw a lot of core stabilization and leg exercises just to keep my body primed for tricking and my range of motion up and everything. When I'm not tricking, I do a lot more conditioning with the goal of getting stronger and more explosive. Throughout our, we have the TrickStronger series, and you'll see kind of like the kind of workouts we do to train for tricking. I use a lot of weights when I'm not tricking every day. I have a barbell set at the house. I'll do a lot of sports-specific things that kind of look sort of like tricks, but with resistance so that I'm gaining strength through that range. So we'll talk more about that with the TrickStronger project.
What are your thoughts or tips on keeping up a good rate of progression when tricking every day?
I mean, if you are doing it right, it will happen. You're basically practicing every day. If you're practicing something every day and you're doing it efficiently, then you're going to be good. How to do it efficiently is what you're asking. And I think that training different things every day so that you're not beating up on one leg or fatiguing a muscle too much. You know, spreading out the training. If you notice in my training, I'll kind of switch between swings and kick days, and I'll jump off one leg more than the other on one day. That's not by accident. That's on purpose so that I can train more efficiently the following day. So for example, if I want to have a really big swing day, the day before I'll do kicks or something like that, or groundwork or transitions. So you have to train smart, and you will progress just fine. Another tip I have for that is really focusing on what you want to train. So I have a goal list that I try to hit, and they're realistic goals. They're single tricks for now. I've done it in the past with combos, but just goals in mind that are reasonable and attainable that you can hit each day are a really good motivator as well.
What specific things did you do for recovery when you weren't tricking every day? And how have you had to adjust those things in order to keep your body healthy and able?
When I wasn't tricking every day, honestly, it was pretty similar. It just wasn't as intense. So when I wasn't tricking every day, I would do a warm-up, but again, it wasn't as intense. And my cool down, I would stretch, but it just wasn't as much. So basically, for recovery, for tricking every day, I just kind of upped my game and just really focused on everything that I was doing and just making sure I was doing it to the best of my ability. So I was getting the hydration I needed. I was trying my best to get the sleep that I needed. As far as food, I was just trying to really fuel myself and listen to like what helps me train my best. And that the warm-up routine that I do, I can't talk enough about it. It was just really a game changer for me. Just going through all of those motions really helped me be able to perform at my best.
How did you manage with everyday life tasks?
Actually, it was pretty difficult because not only was I tricking every day, I was documenting it and making a sampler every day pretty much on Instagram, and I was also posting the tips that you guys were seeing. So it was a lot. It was involved. And typically my sessions from start to finish would be around 2 hours with the warm-up and cool down and tricking. About 2, maybe, give or take. It could be longer or shorter. So it was a big time commitment. And like I said, I'm a full-time student in a doctorate program for physical therapy, so that's demanding as well. I just really kind of just eliminated everything that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. And it's hard to do, like, to kind of avoid, like, getting trapped in social media or whatever else. So I just really just focused on time management and just wake up, go to school, study, come home, eat, train, study, sleep. That was kind of my day. So I was just really on my grind.
Do you plan on keeping this up, or are you going to rest anytime soon for injury prevention?
Funny that you asked that. I got injured. That's why I stopped. The last day, on day 30, I did a hyper cheat 9, which is a trick I've had for many years and is very easy for me. But for some reason, I shot out. I didn't go up. I went out, and I kind of landed like, if this is my leg, kind of landed like that, and my knee got hurt. So I could just tell you what my hypothetical plan was. My plan was to trick until I felt anything different. Like, actually that day, up until that day, or I shouldn't say up until that day, but that day specifically, I felt great. I felt actually no soreness after 30 days of tricking, which was amazing. And my tricks, like, my body was very responsive. It was doing what I asked of it. It was all great. And then, you know, I just got injured, and it happens. And yeah, I think it is really sustainable. I really do. It's just how you do it. And could I have thrown a rest day in or so? Yes. But I wanted to push myself and see my limits.
Do you still get sore at all?
It's weird. It's like, I mean, it's really this, like, trend. That's kind of how the days have been going. Some days I feel really great. Other days I feel more sore. I actually expected to feel more joint soreness, because that's kind of what used to happen to me when I would trick like maybe 3 days in a row or so. I wouldn't get as much like muscular soreness as I would joint. But really now, I mean, towards the end of the challenge, I was really getting used to it, and my body was fine. I would have minimal soreness, and I would be able to do everything in my daily routine without being limited by soreness or anything. So it's pretty good.
Do you think that your injury was related to tricking every day?
That's a great question. There's no way to know. Like I said, I felt really good. The only thing, if I had landed the way I did any day, day 1, day 2, day 80, I would have been hurt. The only thing that I could say might have been related to the injury was maybe you could say that I was fatigued, and that's why I didn't do the trick as well. But really, I think we just get injured, you know? It happens, and kind of just have to roll with it. I personally don't think it was a direct cause of the challenge, but it was just a mistake in a trick, and hopefully I won't do that again.
How long can you keep tricking every day?
Apparently 30 days. But I think that I will do this type of training again. We'll see. Again, I'm going to listen to my body. If I feel that I am done, then I will stop. So when I get back to tricking, I'm not going to go straight back to tricking every day, obviously. I'm going to ease myself back into it, do a couple days here and there, and really build back up. But once I feel up to it, I think I will trick every day again, and I won't put so much pressure on myself to perform like I was saying before, and I will just stop at any moment. So hopefully you guys will be there to watch that. I think I'll vlog that time, so stay tuned for that.